Listening to English conversations is one of the best ways to improve our language skills. Every time we hear real-life dialogues, we pick up new vocabulary and get a better sense of how the language is used naturally in everyday situations. In today's episode, Emily and Michael talk about overthinking. They share how it shows up in daily life, why it's so exhausting, and how we can stop it. A calm, honest chat that reminds us we're not alone. Let's start.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Emily. You made it just in time. This breeze is perfect today.
It really is. It feels like the world's finally taking a deep breath. I needed this. My head's been spinning lately.
Still stuck in overthinking mode?
Always. Honestly, it's like my mind just refuses to shut up. Replaying old conversations, imagining future disasters. Exhausting.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. It's like you're doing mental gymnastics and ending up in the same place every time.
Exactly. Like running on a treadmill. You feel like you're doing something, but you're not really getting anywhere.
I've been thinking about this recently. What actually counts as overthinking? Where's the line between being thoughtful and getting trapped in your own head?
Good question. I think overthinking starts when thinking stops being helpful. Like it shifts from solving to obsessing.
Yeah, like when you're still thinking about that one comment someone made a week ago, trying to decode what they meant, whether you said the wrong thing.
Or when you keep trying to plan for every possible outcome just so you don't get hurt, even though deep down you know you can't control it all.
Exactly. I think overthinking is rooted in fear. Fear of failure, of making the wrong choice, of being judged, of regret.
Completely agree. My brain thinks if I prepare enough, I can avoid pain. But all it really does is create anxiety and indecision.
And it gives this illusion that if we just think a little more, we'll figure it all out. But we never do we?
Nope. The more I overthink, the less clear things become. It's like trying to see through fog by squinting harder.
That's such a perfect image. I guess overthinking feels like it should help us find clarity, but it only creates more confusion.
Exactly. And we often mistake it for being responsible or cautious. Like, I used to think overthinking meant I was being careful.
Same here. I thought it made me more prepared, but in reality, it just made me afraid to act.
Right. It turns simple things into big decisions and big decisions into existential crises.
You ever get stuck in those inner debates, like one voice saying, just go for it, and another going, but what if you regret it?
All the time. It's like my mind becomes a courtroom and I'm both the lawyer and the judge, arguing with myself.
And the worst part? You end up not doing anything at all.
Exactly. I call it decision fatigue before deciding. It's mentally draining.
I've had whole days where I felt mentally exhausted and all I did was think. No action, just endless loops.
That's so real. And it's not just about big stuff. Even small choices can turn into mini nightmares when you overthink. Like what to wear, what to say, which email tone sounds right.
It's amazing how much energy it eats up. And for what? Most of the things I overthink never even happen.
Right. I once read that 90% of what we worry about never actually comes true. But try telling that to my brain at 2 a.m.
It's the illusion of control. Like if we think hard enough, we can outsmart uncertainty.
But in reality, overthinking is a form of avoidance. We stay in our heads so we don't have to take risks or face discomfort.
That's such a good point. It's like instead of feeling anxious about the unknown, we give ourselves a task. Solve everything in your head first. But it never ends.
And it affects our relationships too. I can't count how many times I've read too deeply into a text or overanalyzed the tone of voice.
Totally. Like they just said sure and suddenly you're like, wait, was that passive aggressive?
Yes, and don't even get me started on writing messages. I rewrite them 5 times, wait hours to send, then still panic after hitting send.
We basically become our own worst enemy. Overthinking turns us into mind readers, future predictors, and detectives all in our heads.
It's honestly kind of exhausting being me sometimes.
You and me both. But hey, recognizing it is the first step, right?
Definitely. I think awareness is huge. Just noticing, oh, I'm spiraling right now, can sometimes be enough to pause.
Yeah, like catching yourself before the loop gets too deep. It's not easy, though.
No, but it's a start. I'm learning to ask myself, is this thought helping me or just stressing me out?
That's a great filter. I should start asking that too. Half my thoughts would get kicked out on the spot.
Mine too. But I guess that's part of the work, learning how to think with ourselves, not against ourselves.
Beautifully said. So we've agreed overthinking is sneaky, stressful, and mostly useless. But what do you think? How does it really affect our lives?
Oh, don't get me started. That rabbit hole goes deep.
So, how do you think overthinking actually affects our lives, Emily?
Honestly, in more ways than I ever realized. It touches everything: how we work, how we love, how we see ourselves. It's like a filter on life.
Yeah, I get that. I think one of the biggest things for me is how it messes with decision making. I overanalyze every little choice until I can't even tell what I want anymore.
Same here. I'll go back and forth on something for hours, sometimes days, even for small things. And in the end, I either delay it or don't do it at all.
And that delay, it costs us so much time, energy, opportunities.
Yep, I've missed so many chances, jobs, travel, even relationships, just because I was too deep in my own head.
Me too. I used to think, I'll just wait until I'm sure, but I've learned that moment rarely comes. The more I overthink, the less sure I become.
Exactly. It's like the more you think, the less you know, at least for me. And then there's the emotional side. Overthinking drains the joy out of things. I could be having a perfectly good moment and suddenly I'm thinking, did I say the wrong thing earlier? Should I have done something differently?
Oh, I know that script. It's like joy becomes suspicious. Like, this is nice. Too nice. What's gonna go wrong?
And the irony, nothing actually goes wrong, but we ruin the moment anyway, just in case.
That's the worst part. Overthinking steals the present. It makes us live in this imaginary future or past and miss what's actually happening.
Yeah, I've been at dinner with friends laughing and suddenly I'm replaying a meeting from earlier or worrying about tomorrow. I'm there physically, but mentally gone.
Exactly. And then we feel disconnected from others and from ourselves. It's like our minds never let us just be.
And you start to question everything, even your own intuition. I used to be pretty decisive, but after years of overthinking, I second guess myself all the time.
Same here. I don't trust myself the way I used to. I even start thinking, why am I like this? What's wrong with me? And it spirals.
It chips away at confidence, makes you doubt your ability to handle things, even simple stuff.
And that self-doubt, it spreads. It affects how you speak, how you show up in a room, how you handle conflict, how you let people treat you.
Yeah, and in relationships, wow, overthinking can be brutal.
Totally. Like someone doesn't text back right away and your brain's already writing 10 possible stories about why. Did I upset them? Did they lose interest? Should I have said something differently?
Oh, I know that script. It's like someone doesn't text back right away, and your brain's already writing 10 possible stories about why. Did I upset them? Did they lose interest? Should I have said something differently?
Yes, and meanwhile, they're probably just busy.
Exactly. But the mind won't accept that simple answer. It's like it wants the drama, just to stay active.
And then there's this urge to fix everything, even things that don't need fixing, just to feel less anxious.
Oh, absolutely. I've apologized for things I didn't need to, just because I couldn't stand not knowing what the other person was thinking.
It's like we try to manage other people's reactions by predicting them, but we're terrible at it. And it's exhausting.
It really is. And when you overthink, you also hold back. You don't speak up. You don't take risks. You don't allow yourself to be seen fully.
Because you're too busy trying to be safe.
Right. And that safety costs us authenticity. We start editing ourselves before we even speak.
That hit hard. I've definitely done that. Softened what I really wanted to say just to avoid possible awkwardness later.
And you know what's wild? People don't even notice half the things we're obsessing about. Most of it's in our heads.
Totally. We assume everyone's watching us closely, but they're busy worrying about themselves.
So true. It's like we're walking around with this invisible weight on our backs, and no one else even sees it.
And then there's sleep. Let's talk about that. Or, well, the lack of it.
Don't even get me started. Overthinking at night is like my brain's favorite activity.
It's like, oh, you're trying to rest. Let's revisit every awkward thing you've said in the last 10 years.
Exactly. Or suddenly remember that thing I need to do next week and then plan every scenario around it. It's exhausting, literally, and it adds up. The mental fatigue affects everything, our mood, focus, even health.
Yeah, over time, it really does take a toll. You start to feel like you're stuck in your own mind, and the world is happening outside of you.
That's such a powerful way to put it. Like life is passing you by while you're busy calculating all the possible risks.
And yet, so often, those risks don't even happen. We suffer twice, once in our heads and once in reality, if it even happens at all.
So true. Most of the pain is self-created, and I'm not blaming anyone for that. It's just what our minds do when we're trying to protect ourselves.
Yeah, it's not about being weak, it's about being human. Just trying to stay safe in a world that feels unpredictable.
Exactly. But maybe the solution isn't more control. Maybe it's more acceptance.
Now that's a thought. Acceptance instead of control. I like that. I'm still working on it, but I've started realizing if overthinking is stealing our time, peace, and joy, then maybe we need to learn how to take those back.
I couldn't agree more. So I guess the real question now is, how do we stop overthinking?
Now that's a conversation I've been waiting to have. So, how do we stop? I mean, knowing we overthink is one thing, but changing it, that's the tricky part.
Tell me about it. I've read books, listened to podcasts, journaled, meditated, you name it. But overthinking still creeps back in like it owns the place.
Same here, but I think the biggest shift happened for me when I stopped trying to fight the thoughts and started just noticing them.
Yeah, awareness. That's always step one, isn't it? Just catching yourself in the act. Like, oh, hey, there I go again.
Exactly. No judgment. Just naming it. This is overthinking. Sometimes just seeing it clearly makes it lose power.
It's funny how our brains convince us that overthinking is helping. But when you step back and say, wait, this isn't solving anything, it's kind of freeing.
And that pause, that small moment of stepping back, it's huge because that's where choice begins.
I've also started asking myself different questions. Instead of what could go wrong, I try, what's the best that could happen?
That's powerful because our default is often fear-based. We imagine failure before we even give hope a chance.
Exactly. And sometimes I ask, what would I do if I trusted myself right now? That question changes everything.
I love that. Trusting yourself. That's huge. Overthinking often comes from a lack of self-trust, doesn't it?
Completely. Like we think if we just analyze things enough, we'll avoid pain or mistakes. But sometimes trust means acting even without guarantees.
That's true bravery. Acting without full certainty.
Another thing that's helped me, taking action fast, like small, imperfect steps before my brain has time to ruin it.
Yes, I've started doing that too. I give myself a short deadline, like reply to this email in 5 minutes. No endless edits.
Exactly, because the longer we wait, the louder the doubts get.
Totally. And movement builds confidence. Not thinking, not planning, just doing.
Even if it's messy, especially if it's messy.
And you know what else? I've learned that I don't have to believe every thought I think.
That's such a life changer. Just because a thought feels real doesn't mean it is real.
Right, like, they probably hate me, or I'm gonna mess this up. Those are just mental stories, not facts.
Exactly. Thoughts are like clouds. They pass. We don't have to grab onto every single one.
I try to treat them like background noise now. Oh, there's that old song again. Let it play, but don't dance to it.
I love that metaphor. Just let it be. No need to engage.
And when I'm stuck, I try to get out of my head physically. Go for a walk, move my body, call a friend.
Yes, the body is a great shortcut to the present. Sometimes I just breathe deeply, like literally feel my breath. It grounds me.
Funny how simple that sounds, but it actually works. We live in our minds so much, we forget the rest of us exists.
Exactly. I also write stuff down when my thoughts are spiraling. It helps me see how repetitive and irrational they actually are.
Me too. Getting it out of your head and onto paper makes it less overwhelming.
And sometimes I just let myself not know. I sit with the uncertainty and remind myself that it's okay to not have all the answers.
That's one of the hardest things, but also one of the most freeing. Life's not meant to be perfectly figured out.
Nope. And mistakes will happen, but we'll survive them. Probably learn something too.
That's a comforting thought.
And I think above all, we have to be kind to ourselves. Genuinely kind. Because overthinking can come with a lot of self-criticism.
Yes, like beating yourself up for being anxious, which just adds more stress.
Exactly. Compassion helps break the cycle. It's like telling yourself, hey, it's okay. You're doing your best.
We need more of that, from ourselves and from each other.
They sit quietly for a few seconds, watching a child run after a falling leaf. The moment feels calm, light.
You know, Emily, I feel lighter just talking about all this.
Me too. It's strange how saying it out loud makes it feel less heavy.
Yeah, like I'm not the only one carrying it around in my head.
Definitely not. We all do it. We just don't talk about it enough.
Well, I'm glad we did.
Me too. Seriously. This was probably the healthiest conversation I've had all week.
Same here. Thanks for listening and for being so honest.
Thank you for showing up, for being real. All right, I should probably head home, but this was really good.
It was. Let's do this again sometime. No overthinking, just show up and talk.
Deal. Take care, Michael.
You too, Emily. And remember, you're allowed to breathe. You don't have to solve everything.
I'll try. One thought at a time.
And now, that's the end of this episode. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. See you next time.